Hello. Right, first of all, if there's any interruptions like the phone ringing or the door knocking or the dog barking, there'll be some editing. But what I want to do with this video is essentially go through setting up a laptop from start to finish. So let's see how we get on, and let's crack straight on. So here's a brand new laptop. It's a Lenovo. Let's just have a look at the specs of it. I'll read them off. It's an i5 7200U. It's got a 256 gig SSD, 8 gig of RAM, 14-inch display, and Windows 10 Pro. Brand spanking new. I've covered up the serial number and other stuff just to, just because. So there's the seal there on it. Seal's still quite nicely sealed. So we'll just get that open and have a look. Flip that up. I'll close that up because it's sharp. So we get the laptop out, brand spanking new. Power brick. There's a little tip. Stand it upside down and just lift the box off rather than trying to pinch it and grab it. And bits of paper, boring, boring, and boring. Most of them are just compliance certificates. There's no actual manual. So let's get this off. And there it is. Get it out of its bag. And that's a laptop. So it's a 14-inch Lenovo laptop, brand spanking new, never been used before, never been turned on before. So we'll lift it up. There's the little keyboard sheet, and there it is. I like Lenovo keyboards. I think they've got the best keyboards, but we will need to have some power going to it. So I'll just unravel the power cable. So as I say, we're going to set this up right from the start. I'll try and include some little tips to speed it up, and because it's an OEM laptop, we will probably need to do some tweaking. I'm just scrubbing about plugging the power in at the moment. That, and an Lenovo power connector is on the left, so there it is. In it goes. I do not like touch pads at all, so I'm going to leave my mouse, which I probably should have put on the table, but I didn't. So there's my mouse, which I will also plug in. And we're in business. So I might have to adjust the camera once it's fired up. So you can just, so we're just looking at the screen. So that's it unpacked. Plug the mains in. The mains is on, and we'll power it up. That was awkward. I actually thought he wasn't going to do anything then. Ooh, tension. That's what it is, isn't it? So, yes, it's firing up. Heavily branded, obviously, because it's a Lenovo. It's saying the just a moment thing. So what I'll do is I'll pause the recording and adjust it so that we see the screen. Three, two, one. So So that's probably the best I can do. Obviously I can't screen capture the output because I haven't got the kit to do it. So this is what we'll have to do. So it's the first thing it asks you is region, and it will try and guess that. It's United States at the moment. I'm in the United Kingdom, so I'm going to choose the region United Kingdom. I'm going to click yes, and then the keyboard layout. Well, I really want United Kingdom, so I'm going to choose United Kingdom. Obviously you choose which one you want. Do I want to add a second keyboard layout? No, I don't, so I click skip. Let's connect you to a network. Right, here's the thing. The newer versions of Windows 10 really insist that you have a Microsoft account to log in, and this is how you don't need a Microsoft account. Now, there are plenty of good reasons why a Microsoft account is applicable. Just ask Microsoft. I'm sure they'll tell you loads of stuff about how great they are. But I like local user accounts for all sorts of different reasons. And if you want a local user account, then here's a tip. Don't connect it to your network. So if you connect to a network now, when it goes through the rest of the setup and asks you for a username, it will be impossible for you to not have a Microsoft account to set your computer up. Whereas if I go, I don't have the internet, which is down here at the bottom of the screen, then it'll say, you should really connect. And there's another connect now thing, which they've highlighted helpfully. Don't click continue with limited setup. Like that. And then there's a license agreement. If you join the network at this point of the setup of your new laptop, it will go hunting for various bits and bobs and updates, which we'll do anyway later, but it will also insist that you have a Microsoft account. Okay, so if you want a local user account, don't connect to the network when it asks you to connect. Windows 10 license agreement, I'm not going to read it because I'm agreeing to it anyway. Who's going to use this PC? Now, we need to put a name in. And not with tripod, so I've cut that bit. You need to use a name. So I'm just going to call this Lenovo. Like that. That can obviously be changed later if needed. And then you press return or click next. Do you need a password? Well, if you want a password, you can have one, but adding a password makes no appreciable difference to security. Even with a Microsoft account, because the data on the drive is actually readable if someone boots from an external Windows PE environment or just takes the drive out and reads it. So this is effective at maybe stopping your brother or sister peeking at your laptop, but it's not a high security thing. So it's also something extra you have to do before it boots. So I don't bother with passwords. Dink. Just click. And that's one thing you can't do if you've got a Microsoft account. You have to have a password for that. You can auto log in, but you still need one. Do I want activity history? I couldn't care less, frankly. Do I want digital assistant? No, I do not. Do more with your voice. Well, if you want to use speech recognition, then obviously you should use it. I don't. So I've clicked no. Let Microsoft and apps use your location? No. That has relevance. But mainly for phones. So if you say, is there a restaurant near me, it knows where you are and it can tell you, so kind of useful. But for a desktop, I rather didn't know where I was. Find my device, no, because it's right in front of me and it's not a phone, so I'm not likely to lose it. And even if I did, so what? Send digital data to Microsoft. Basic data. Improve inking and typing. If you use ink, so you use a digital pen, then maybe yes. Personally, I'd say no. Get tailored experience with diagnostic data, no. Let apps use advertising ID, no. And protect your device. This is a Lenovo thing. Add this device to your Lenovo ID profile for faster support, no. Protect your device. Add this device to your, no. Add this device to my Lenovo, no. Sign up to receive email, no. Lenovo may share my email address, no. Help Lenovo improve your device experience by allowing anonymous data collection? No. So there's thank you, Lenovo. Those are actually all unticked already, so that's kind of good. I wanted to see if it was a trick though, and it wasn't. So just click next, and now it's doing the hi thing. We're getting everything ready for you. So that's the initial sort of startup bit. So what we'll do next is we'll look at ways to speed it up and tweak it, and what we can and can't remove, and what we definitely should remove. And we'll do that once it's actually finished this. So I'm going to stop the recording and we'll carry on once it's done that. Right, so yes, the screen is quite reflective on this model, and you can also notice on it that the actual backlight doesn't completely saturate evenly, doesn't illuminate the LCD panel evenly. You can't tell that when you're looking at it with just your eyes, but the camera picks it up. So hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm about to do, but I'll talk you through it anyway. So it's gone to the desktop, and we'll make a few tweaks to it. First of all, first thing we're going to do is tidy up the taskbar a little bit. So I'm going to get rid of the Cortana button, get rid of the task view button, and then change the search to an icon. So now we've got more taskbar. Obviously, if you use these features, you haven't got to turn them off. So then if we go to taskbar settings, right click on the taskbar, select properties. What we can do is scroll down a little bit, and it says select which icons appear in the taskbar, and we'll just say all of them, please. And that gives us a better idea about what's going on. First thing that springs to mind is McAfee, so we'll get rid of that. There's also OneDrive. Now, if you don't use OneDrive, then obviously you can get rid of it. So what I'm going to do here is I've right-clicked on it. I'm going to do Settings, and I'm going to do Start OneDrive automatically when I sign into Windows. I'm going to turn that off, so it won't start. Obviously, if you use it a lot, then you don't need to do these settings. It's just something that I do because I don't use OneDrive. So that's that done. So at the moment, it's still we're not connected to a network, so we probably should connect to a network. So we will. So I'll join my home network. And then we'll get it updating, because obviously that's quite important. So I'm just joining the network, and we're in. Another thing I'm going to do now is sort out the notifications. Obviously, if you do like the notifications, then leave them on, but personally I don't. So I'm going to click the notifications icon in the bottom right, and there's a little thing at the top that says manage notifications. I'm going to click that, and then on that screen I'm going to do turn notifications off, and I'm going to get rid of the welcome experience and tips and tricks as well while I'm at it. So that takes care of that. Next thing I'm going to do is sort the desktop out. So I'm going to do right click anywhere that's blank, personalize, and background I change that to a solid color, and I quite like the grey. Maybe a bit lighter grey. We'll just have the grey, dark grey. And then we have colours. So I'm going to hit colours on the left. Choose your colour, custom, theme is dark. Transparency effects, while I'm there, I'm going to turn them off. Notice that the taskbar just changed. And this is an interesting one. It automatically chooses an accent colour. Now the accent colour is what things that are highlighted normally get, but that's disabled by default. So show accent colour on the following surfaces. We're in the colours part, remember. I'm going to click title bar, so that when I open multiple copies of the same thing, I know which one is actually active because its bar lights up. That's a bit old school, and I quite like that, so that's why I set that. While we're there, the lock screen, It does Windows Spotlight, which means it downloads different things and changes it, so I'll just use it as a standard single picture. Get fun facts tips, I turn that off. Show lock screen background picture on the sign-in screen, I turn that off as well. You won't get a sign-in screen if you've done what I've done already, because it logs you in. And then we'll just have a look at themes. Nothing there, I don't think we need to change. Font start. Yeah, so suggestions occasionally in start, turn that off. Jump lists, we like jump lists, so we'll leave that there. And then the taskbar we've already looked at. So that's those settings there. So next thing we're going to do is sort out some of the performance issues and make it more responsive. I'm going to click this PC with my right mouse button and I'm going to select properties. So I opened File Explorer, I right clicked on this PC and I selected properties. That just shows that we're Windows 10 Pro. I'm going to look at advanced system settings and I'm going to look at performance and I'm going to click the settings button, and then I'm going to adjust for best performance, which deselects everything, and then I'm going to select drop shadows at the bottom, smooth edges of screen fonts and show thumbnails, and then I'm going to click apply. And you don't notice anything except everything is now more responsive. So start and recovery, that's the next one I'm going to look at, just right there in front of me. Click settings, I'm going to turn off automatically restart and I'm going to deactivate memory dump. That's because automatically restart means it crashes and it restarts before you've had a chance to see what the error code is. Very, very annoying. Debugging information, if it does memory dumps and it keeps crashes a lot, that can actually fill up your hard drive. I've seen machines that have got like 900 meg of data on and it's all memory dumps. So yeah, click OK on that and then click OK. And you notice the windows now close a lot faster. So next thing is we're going to sort out the hard drive. So you find the hard drive and you right click and you select properties. Allow files on this drive to have contents indexed in addition to file properties. I'm going to select that and I'm going to click apply. I'm going to deselect that and then click apply, and then I'm going to click OK. I'm going to click continue to the prompt, and it can't do the swap file, so I'm going to say ignore all. And it will whiz through that. Now you don't need to wait for it to finish all of those. I can just click cancel there and cancel there. Right click properties again and you can see it's now deticked. Now I'm going to go to tools and I'm going to go optimize, and where it has the schedulized optimization I'm going to change settings and I'm going to turn that off. Click apply and then click close and then click OK. And that takes care of a few things. Next thing is in the search box here, I'm going to type in indexing, and the top hit, or the best match, is indexing options. I'm going to choose that, and I'm going to modify, and I'm going to show all locations, and then I'm going to deselect as much as I can. You can't do the start menu bit, but you can do everything else. So you should end up with the start menu just being left. Click OK. If you want to do it properly, then you can do advanced and rebuild, and it will rebuild the indexing, and obviously it does it very quickly because it's only doing the start menu now. So I can now click close. It hasn't finished, but I can click close. It'll do that quietly in the background. Now, what I've just done there applies to every single system that there is. A lot of the default Windows settings are a bit annoying, but here's the one that is actually going to be really important for you, especially if you've got a laptop. I'm going to right click and I'm going to select power options on the little power icon. And now I'm going to go to, it's on balanced, I'm going to go to change plan settings, and I'm going to change the ones that are on plugged in there to never. And I'm going to go to change advanced power settings. And the one I'm looking for is turn off hard disk on battery. That one should reset itself anyway, but I like to put the 0 in. Internet Explorer, desktop background settings, slideshow, I pause it on when it's plugged in. Wireless adapter settings, it should be maximum performance. Sleep after plugged in, never. Allow hybrid sleep. Hibernate, get rid of that. Allow wake timers, disable wake timers. USB settings, USB selective suspend, I disable that. Intel graphics, power plant, balanced, will have maximum performance when it's on battery. Power buttons and lid, this is the important one. Power buttons and lid on battery, change that to do nothing. Plugged in, change that to do nothing. So that when you are moving around with your laptop, you haven't got to balance it with the screen open because you're afraid it's going to sleep. All you do is close the lid and it turns the screen off. Put it under your arm and you're free to walk around without doing any damage to it at all. Power button action. I don't like the sleep. It has to shut down periodically. You have to shut your laptop down. You can't just keep it in sleep all the time because it gets a bit sticky. Plugged in, maximum power savings, off for PCI Express. Processor power management, that's fine, leave that as it is. Multimedia settings aren't relevant. Display, turn off display, plugged in 0. And then click apply, click OK, and then click save changes. And that's the power options done. So now when you close the lid, because you're walking around with your laptop, because that's what you tend to do when it's not plugged into the wall, all you do is close the lid and walk around with it under your arm, rather than holding it from an edge or trying to balance it. Reduces damage quite significantly, because you know how you've broken your laptop, and it's always because you're walking around and holding it with one hand, wasn't it? So yeah, next thing is we're going to look at things that are unique to this Lenovo machine. So if I go to apps and features and then just scroll down, and we'll do this old school, programs and features, programs and settings at the bottom. So this is what's actually installed. Now we've got Office 365 and we've got McAfee LiveSafe. I'm going to get rid of McAfee LiveSafe because there's no reason to have that. So we'll uninstall that, and we'll also remove all the files for it, remove the user settings as well. I don't care about my active subscription, thank you. So we get rid of that. Security Center just had a wobbly, but it should enable Windows Defender once it's done. I think you can see this. I'm sort of huddled in the corner of the room to stop any reflections and shadows. The mouse is quite noisy because I'm using it on a chair. So it's going to sort that out for me. Let's just have a look at the tiles here, see what we can get rid of on there. I mean, if you use Netflix, then obviously include it. If you don't use Netflix, then you don't need it, do you? They've bunched a few things up. Lenovo Vantage. You don't really need Lenovo Vantage. Microsoft to-do list. They've bundled quite a lot of stuff in it now. What's that? That's news. Don't need that. Get rid of that. What's in this play one? Mahjong. It's actually quite good. What's that? Hotspot Shield free VPN. No. Get rid of that. What are you? Sketchable. Don't know what that is. What's that? WinZip Microsoft Store Edition. Don't need that. What's that? WhatsApp Desktop. Get rid of that. I don't know what Sketchable is. I don't know. I think Lenovo Vantage is a bit of a sticky one. I'm not going to disable it on this machine. No thank you. It wants a restart, so we'll let it restart and we'll see how fast it restarts. So here we go. Remember how I joined the network? In the background it will have probably downloaded a few updates as well, so we'll check on that next. So it's just restarting. This is about £400 computer. It's not the most expensive. In fact, it's less than that, I think, £350. Less than that. But it's still got well, that's it done. It's still got an SSD in it. So it's rather nice. So yeah, so that's that done. So let's go and have another look at apps and features and see if we've got any junk that we can get rid of. Game bar, we can't get rid of that, but we'll just leave that ticking away in the background. There's various other bits and bobs here. Lenovo Vantage, Lenovo Service, Lenovo Utility, Some of this stuff, lower stuff, is useful because it means that some bits of it work properly. Sticky notes, snip and sketch, smart audio 2. There's nothing particularly obnoxious about this, but even if we have got Office 365, we don't need the Microsoft Get Office 365 thing, because that's here we go, get rid of that and install that, because you can install it anyway. So we'll just get rid of Office 365, because obviously they'll start demanding money off us. Let's see what that's complaining about. Engine unavailable, load updates. We'll dismiss that sign in because we don't need account protection. Close that. So let's get rid of that. Lenovo utility, I think that's what does it. So let's fire up Lenovo Vantage and see what it's all about. Make it simple for you to update your drivers, run diagnostics, request support, learn about your device. Tell us about your interest. Optional. It very much is optional. No, you may not have my microphone. You may not have my camera. So yeah, so this is a general diagnostic sort of thing. It's a bit clunky, a bit chunky. It's well intentioned. It does have information about the warranty, but whenever you buy something in the UK, at least, your warranty is not with the manufacturer of the device. Initially, usually for the first year, it's with the person or the entity that you bought it from. So if you bought it from Lenovo, then yes, you contact them about having it repaired or replaced if it's faulty. But if you didn't buy it from Lenovo, then the onus is very much on the place that you bought it from. So don't get fobbed off. So what we'll do, it looks like the view warranty options, it looks like they're going to want to try and push for extended warranty and things like that. I think I might leave it on here. I'm itching to remove it, but I think I'll just leave it on because this isn't my laptop, this is for a customer. So I'm just going to I'm just tweaking it a little bit. Welcome to your new device. At a glance battery status. Add shortcuts to my desktop to quickly access support. No, don't do any of that. Next. Yeah, they're trying to sell premium care. No. Do we want all of these? This is interesting. Lenovo PCs ship with less pre-installed software, so your new device isn't cluttered with apps you don't need. Instead, we picked a few frequently used ones that you might want to install for yourself. Skip. Dropbox offer, no thanks. Lenovo migration insistent. Yes, help me migrate my files. That's nice. That's pretty cool, but skip. All done, check out Vantage. Launch. So yeah, Lenovo may have actually listened to people. So that's that. There aren't any other settings that I think I want to tweak at this stage. I'm itching to remove Lenovo Vantage. But I'll stop the recording of this, and if I do remove it, I'll mention it in the comment or something. But yeah, so that's how you set up a laptop from scratch. Now you're free to put the software that you use on. I will just have a very quick look at what we've got installed. So we've got Vantage, OneDrive and software. There aren't really any features that you can disable now. So yeah, we're all good. So that's what I do when I set a laptop up. So if you bought yourself a new laptop, then follow this video, and it'll be set up absolutely beautifully and perfectly. Any questions, any comments, stick them in the comments. And once again, liking and subscribing is very much appreciated, and thanks for watching.